The maid froze as she entered the grand piano room. There, in the golden afternoon light, little Emily sat perfectly still, her tiny fingers hovering above the keys. She wasn't supposed to see, but the way her eyes followed the fluttering dust motes in the sunlight told a different story. For 3 years, everyone believed the millionaire's daughter was blind, but what Maria saw that day shattered everything she thought she knew about the family, and about the truth that had been buried behind marble walls and polished smiles. Maria had worked for the Donovan family for nearly a year. She was quiet, dependable, and invisible, as most maids in mansions were expected to be. Her days were a routine of perfection, the silver polished, the curtains drawn at precise times, and every speck of dust erased before the master of the house, Richard Donovan, returned from his office empire. He was a man of power and precision, his tone sharp, his presence cold. But the mansion's heartbeat wasn't Richard, it was his daughter, Emily. Emily was 7, fragile as porcelain, with soft golden curls that framed her pale face. Her father often reminded guests, in a voice half filled with sorrow, "She can't see. My daughter, she's blind." Those words always silenced the room, filling it with a sympathy Richard seemed to savor. Maria felt pity for the little girl. Emily's world was so small, no school, no friends, no trips beyond the mansion walls. She was often found sitting alone, humming tuneless songs or touching her dolls' faces as if trying to imagine them. Yet something about her never fit the picture of helplessness Richard painted. One evening, while cleaning the corridor outside Emily's room, Maria heard laughter, clear, soft, and spontaneous. She peeked through the door's crack and saw Emily, spinning. Not fumbling, not feeling her way, but spinning gracefully, as if she could see every corner of her room. Her little feet twirled with the rhythm of a music box on her table, her eyes fixed on the reflection of the setting sun in the mirror. Maria's breath caught. Emily wasn't blind. She was pretending, or being forced to pretend. The next day, Maria tried to observe quietly, testing her suspicion. She placed a bright red apple on Emily's breakfast tray instead of the usual sliced fruit. Emily's eyes immediately darted to it, and her fingers hesitated, almost guilty, before she whispered softly, "It's beautiful." Then she froze, realizing what she had said. Maria's heart pounded. She wanted to say something, but fear stopped her. The mansion had rules, and Richard Donovan was not a man who tolerated questions. Still, curiosity gnawed at her. Why would a father lie about his daughter's blindness? Late one night, Maria passed Richard's study. His voice was low but sharp, echoing through the half-open door. "You understand what's at stake, doctor," he said. "If anyone finds out, my reputation, my investors, everything collapses. She'll continue the treatment, but no one must know she can see." Not even her. Maria covered her mouth in shock. Not even her? Emily didn't know she could see? That didn't make sense, until Maria remembered something. A week earlier, Emily had told her in a whisper, "Papa says the world is too bright for my eyes. That's why I must keep them closed sometimes." Tears stung Maria's eyes. The man had brainwashed his own daughter. But why? Over the next days, Maria noticed patterns, the doctor's visits every Friday, the drops he gave Emily, for her condition, and how the child always became drowsy afterward, her pupils dilated unnaturally. Maria began to piece together the truth. Emily had never been blind. Richard was making her believe she was. But why would a father do that to his child? It took weeks before Maria discovered the truth. The answer came one stormy night when she heard Emily crying and rushed to her room. The girl sat trembling on her bed, clutching a photo, her mother's. "I miss her, Maria," she sobbed. "Papa says she went to heaven because I couldn't see her when she was sick. That's why she left me." Maria took the photo. The woman in it had kind eyes and the same golden hair as Emily. But there, in the background, was something odd, a hospital bed, and next to it, Richard, signing papers. On the back, faint writing read, "For Emily, when she can see the truth." The maid's hands shook. That message wasn't written for a blind child. It was a clue, a plea from a mother who'd known the truth was being twisted. From that night, Maria couldn't sleep. She made a choice, a dangerous one. She would show Emily the world her father had stolen from her. The next morning, when Richard left for work, Maria took Emily by the hand. "Would you like to feel the garden today?" she asked gently. Emily smiled shyly. Papa says I shouldn't go outside. The light hurts my eyes. Then we'll close them just a little, Maria said softly. They stepped out into the garden. Sunlight spilled over the roses, painting everything in gold. Maria watched Emily's face as the girl slowly opened her eyes. Her lips parted, first in confusion, then in awe. It's colors, she whispered. So many colors. Maria's tears fell freely. Emily blinked up at the sky, her small hands reaching toward the light. It doesn't hurt, Maria. It feels warm. That moment changed everything. But when Richard returned that evening and found his daughter running across the garden, her eyes wide open, his rage was volcanic. What have you done? He roared, grabbing Maria by the arm. Emily clung to her, terrified. You've poisoned her mind with lies. Richard shouted. Maria met his furious gaze. No, you did. You made her believe she was blind to hide your guilt. Richard froze, the truth now bleeding through his silence. His wife hadn't died because of Emily's blindness. She had died because Richard ignored her illness, too focused on his company's success. He blamed himself, but instead of facing it, he built a lie. He made Emily's blindness his penance, her innocence his punishment. I wanted her safe from the world, he said weakly. If she couldn't see, she couldn't remember the hospital, her mother's pain, my failure. Then you didn't protect her, Maria said quietly. You imprisoned her. Emily stepped forward. Papa, she said softly, I forgive you. But I want to see now. The room fell silent. For the first time, Richard Donovan looked into his daughter's eyes, really looked. The walls around his heart began to crack. From that day, things changed. The mansion's curtains stayed open. The doctor never came again. Maria remained by Emily's side, not as a maid, but as family. Richard slowly rebuilt his bond with his daughter, learning that love didn't need control, it needed truth. And sometimes, the one who sees the clearest isn't the one with perfect vision, but the one brave enough to open their eyes.